Financial Services. Hi, I'm Jay. What's going on?
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Tired today. I don't know why.
Well, it is Wednesday. We're halfway through the week mostly. You got back from vacation late last week. Maybe you're
Sunday.
Sunday, yeah.
Still trying to catch up.
Yeah, we're still trying to catch up.
No, I'm still trying to wish I was on vacation.
Well, yes.
So what I'm really tired of is being here, but that's.
Well, right. You're tired of. Well, I know that there's something better out there. It's called vacation, and I just want to go back.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing.
Yeah, it is. But anyway, you have. Is this Dan with us today?
No, this is Reece.
Oh, Reece. Okay.
No, you're good. Good morning. It's McKenna Hansen with Wired Wednesday. Today in studio, we have Reece Heideman from our St. George office. He is my financial specialist over here, and we're going to talk about money.
I like that.
Right, and it's one of
Giving
those.
out examples, are we today?
Well, hopefully, because money is kind of like that law of abundance. Once you have $1, it's easily acquired to have $2, and once you have $2 acquired, it's easier to have $3 acquired.
Okay.
It is. It's just the law of attraction.
Okay.
And
all right. I'm still trying to get the dollar going here.
Fair, and it's one of those things that we've been taught for generations now that money is greedy, is bad, is so obnoxious, and you shouldn't have money because if you're money, you're one of those people. I mean,
This is the Gordon Gekko speech, isn't it?
One of those people and stuff. Well, today we want to change your perception. We want to kind of start your thought process a little differently and get you thinking about the alternative ways to spend all this quote-unquote free money we've been receiving.
Yeah.
Stimulus checks. I know what are we on? The second round, coming up on the third, I think, potentially?
Yeah, potentially third round. That means at most average households, I think, with 2 kids and 2 adults have received almost $10,000 over the last 12 months.
Are they really talking about more? You've got to be kidding me.
Well, there was that second there.
There's rumor of an upcoming one that's more beneficial towards people with kids, essentially offsetting their cost on a monthly basis. But I think it's still in the works.
Well, right, and then that interesting person that Utah didn't elect is trying to get everybody that has a child $300 a month per child to stay at home.
We did elect him. I'm sorry to say, but
well, right, that individual. I won't say his name on the air because
why?
I know I'll get the Fox
you're going to get it
stuff
anyway.
done.
So
Fair enough. So let's talk about where to get started, how to get started, why not just going and frivolously spending the stimulus money and or the tax refunds, because we're in tax season. We just ended tax season yesterday.
No, not technically. Extended to May.
Oh,
15th.
excuse me.
May 17th, actually.
17th.
Yeah, 17th.
Oh, well, wow, keeping up on the finances right here.
Well, that just says you already got yours done, right?
Yes,
That's what I'm
definitely.
hearing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm one of those. As soon as I have all the stuff in, I get them done, and 24 hours later, I have them done.
That's
and
awesome.
I can't do the anticipation of not knowing or knowing or anything.
I dread taxes. I put them off as long as I can. I'm the day before.
Nice. It's too much anxiety on this side of the table.
No.
It doesn't work for me.
my accountant just automatically extends me every year.
And you're just done.
Yeah.
Oh, I need that. I have an accountant, but he puts me to work. He says you got to do this, this, and this, and this, and
Which is great. I mean, like you need that. You need that structure. I would
You
say.
say, why do you think I'm hiring you? So I don't have to do
right,
it.
exactly. You pay people for the stuff you do not want to do.
Yes, exactly. So, my number one thing is, at least with the tax refunds or the stimulus money that we've been receiving, is I make sure I have an emergency fund. That's the basic, personal finance 101, have an emergency fund.
Yeah, I think that's key. I think interesting enough, what we are seeing people doing right now, let's talk about what happened last year with stimulus money. We saw over $110 billion worth of credit card debt paid off inside of 2019, or 2020, sorry, from 2019 to 2020.
$100 billion.
$110 billion. It's the biggest reduction in credit card debt in U.S. history.
Wow.
Well, I guess since they started recording that data back in 1999, that's been the biggest decrease or drop. So a lot of people are looking at the economy, looking at what's going on in the state of the nation, and kind of a lot of the turmoil that we have going on. and trying to get their house in order, which is great to see people eliminate some of that debt that probably is charging higher end interest rates and
Right.
yeah, so pretty impressive what they're doing that. I think once you're getting caught up on your debt and also coinciding with paying off that debt is reserves, making sure that you don't have to get back in debt.
Right, and then within the reserves, there's a few, broad categories. You can have like your rainy day, I need $500 cash because I got in an auto accident, or your $1,000 deductible type thing. Or you can have, $1,000 in a money market account. In a basic mutual fund, start your mutual fund. $1,000 grows over time. I think the ratio is over 7 years, your money doubles.
It all is dependent on the amount of interest rate that you're getting or rate of return.
Agreed.
So if any of you guys have ever heard the rule of 72, you guys familiar with that? You take the interest rate or the rate of return that you're getting it, divide it into 72, and that's how many years it takes you to double your money. So
okay, that's what I'm remembering from my, infinite wisdom said no one ever in college.
Right. So just easy math would be, 10% rate of return. You're going to double your money every 7 years, right? About a little bit.
Where do you get 10% these days,
Well, actually, you can still get 10% in the market quite easily last year. I mean, but
Really?
we do have that up and down. I mean, as easy as you can make 10%.
It's
you
a
can
long-term
lose 10%. Yes.
proposition.
Yeah, it's nothing that you're going to do inside the year. Fortunately, like you're saying, money market accounts at banks. I mean, what are you guys getting at your bank right now in your savings account? Less than 1%?
Yeah, not even.
Yeah, even kids' CDs are below 2% now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you're getting 2%, you're in a killer deal.
Wait, I know when our
Which
daughter
is-
was born.
Which is weird because I've mentioned this before. Someone brought in an also old newspaper articles, and there was an ad in there from one of the banks in town.
Mm-hmm.
This is in the '60s, and they were paying 5% on savings accounts. And I went, "Wow,
5%.
yeah."
That's incredible. I
Where's
wonder
my
if
time
they'd
machine?
if they'd guarantee that. You know how you can match coupons, across stores. I wonder if they'd still match that.
I don't think they would.
Damn.
I
The
think
hope
that
was
might
there.
put them out of business if they didn't match that. So.
Agreed.
What
Well, with all interest rates low,
Well,
it's
any-
kind of a
any bank
catch-22.
works on like the amount of money that they have in, they have to be able to profit on or lend back out to make money.
Sure.
So if they're guaranteeing a higher interest rate than they're getting a return on, it causes problems for them. That's when we see liquidity problems like we had in 2008, 2009 when the mortgage industry fell out from underneath us. So
That's interesting. So with all of that, where else can we start putting money away to have it work for us? What else can we do with it?
well, I mean, that goes to talking to one of your local advisors like McKenna, working with different fixed products, getting into Roth, starting your own IRA, preparing for retirement. As long as you have that reserve built up, it's a great place to get started.
And I can get started with, let's say, $20 a month, right? Like, I mean, as low as $20 a month, or as much as you want to put in.
I think most will have an account minimum. Well, some are going to be higher than others, but as little as $50, $100 to start, and then 20, 50.
Now you're talking about like a money market type thing.
Yeah, you can do it similar to that. Money markets are still going to have that lower end interest rate. You can do some fixed accounts that have higher interest rates.
Such as?
Well, we have one product right now that's offering 2% for the first year, and then the next 3 years thereafter is 1.5%. But it does tie up your money. It's something that it's going to be locked in place for a period of 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a great way to start growing your money.
It is, and and we're talking like mid to long term is 5 to 10 years. Although that seems short term in the greater scheme of things. Like,
Right.
I'm not retiring for another 30 years. So that's really short term to
Or
me.
will you be?
Yeah,
Well-
you don't even know that.
Yeah, if you strike it big time, you might get to age.
What's big time?
I don't know. I've heard of folks retiring at 50 and 40 and all that stuff.
Reece can attest to this, and you too. You have known me now 2 years. We've been on the radio together.
Right.
You know that I am way too busy to not do anything.
Doesn't mean you have to be to work every day.
Right, but work is my life. Like, I mean, besides my family and
I
my
think he's
kids.
referring to financial freedom, meaning you don't have
Okay,
to
so
work.
financial freedom versus retirement are very different Very different.
Yeah.
I don't think retirement in the sense of the word that we know it as from our parents and past generations is that anymore. I have a lot of clients that are hitting that age where they think they're going into retirement and they take 6 months off, less. I have one guy that he retired from his job and 2 months later had another part-time job just because he was bored. I
understand that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think people truly retire anymore.
So financial freedom would be the ability to have minimum debt, in my own opinion, minimum debt, if at all any debt, and be able to buy groceries and go up the mountain and spend time with my family
And keep the lights on.
and keep the lights on.
Mhm.
You know,
Pay
pay a few bills.
enjoy your hobbies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, hobbies? You mean kids? Kids or hobbies?
Hobbies. You have those, right?
Um,
Oh, you're in the thick of it. You're in the,
Yeah.
what do they call that? The whirlwind, the tornado?
yeah, the something. My season of life involves kids, food, and sleep. Like.
I like the food part.
I like the sleep part.
Right, like kids are great and I love them and I would do nothing different in my life. But that's the season of life I'm in. I'm not even sure what a hobby is. You know, I'm either my business brain is turned on or my mom brain or my wife brain or my sleep brain. Like I only have that many, you know, actual functioning things of my life right now. But, you know, financial freedom is one of those things that I think we all should get to or try and get to when we're spending, you know, we've talked about life insurance as little as $1 a day,
Right.
you know, in some situations. Well, you can start your own, you know, your path to financial freedom with $2 a day,
Yep.
you know,
Right.
and that's however much per hour, you know, of your paycheck that you're putting towards your financial freedom in the future. And it's not going to happen overnight. And it's one of those compounding things.
Well, and the great part is Uncle Sam's giving you money to start
Right.
something right now.
Right. And that's where we're coming into free money or quote unquote free money.
I would never
quote
say
unquote
it's
free
Not
money.
free by any chance.
Right. But that's what it's
We will
being
see
marketing
the
as.
repercussions of this.
Oh, I
soon.
totally agree. Totally agree. But that's what it's being put out
Ooh.
as.
I want to talk to this gentleman for a minute.
Of course. Let's do it.
How soon?
Well, I mean, right now we have Biden trying to pass some of his own tax laws. It's going through the Senate. They're working on it. I don't know where they're at. They're pretty slow on stuff. But could be as early as, what would that be, 2022 tax year that we'll see some increases?
What are the repercussions going to be?
I don't know. He's assuring everyone right now that anybody that makes underneath $400,000 a year won't feel much from it, and everybody above will, trying to tax the rich, quote unquote. But we're already seeing some of the repercussions in our cost of goods, lumber right now
I
is through
love
the
what
roof.
gas prices are these days.
Oh, yeah, they're
that's my favorite thing.
Well, and it's the highest rate jump that we've had since 2007.
Yeah, it's just gone up astronomically in the last.
Like, I mean, every day for 2 weeks or whatever, it seemed like it went up 10 cents in this area.
4 months, yeah, and it'll probably continue to climb because we're just coming into the summer months, right?
Yeah.
So.
And with the amount of tourism and move-ins that this area has seen specifically, that'll just continue to increase.
The great migration in the United States. Everyone moving out of the states that locked down, that they didn't want to be in and had too tight of laws, are now all moving to those that had a little bit more liberty. I guess is a good way to put it, but.
Which is going to be interesting in the long term. It'll be interesting to see what California really does to absorb or decrease.
I don't know. Last year they had talked about penalizing people leaving California for a certain period of time. So you move to Utah, you move to Nevada, you move to Arizona.
See, I don't know how they can possibly do that.
Yeah, it doesn't seem constitutional for them to have the ability to fine somebody for another 4 or 5 years, or after they leave, or tax them, so to speak. Yeah, I don't know how they would get that through, but that was a conversation that was going on last year as they
Wow.
saw. I don't know the percentages, but it was a max exodus of people leaving the area. But you're not surprised. I mean, look at the state of California right now. They're
No, I don't want to look at that.
Swimming
Yeah.
in sludge is what I'm going to put them.
yeah, it's crazy. They've got a lot of work in front of them to return to any kind of sense of normal, or I don't know what normal is in California actually.
But
Yeah.
so let's talk about how much diversity should a person have in their quest to get to financial freedom?
A lot of that changes on age, right? If you're younger, you can have more diversity because you have more time. there's a little bit of an ability to be more risk adverse because you have, for instance, you mentioned that, Kevin, you have another 30 years before you retire.
Right.
You have how many more cycles where we're going to see the market go completely up and then drop out? The number of times that we've had, you've probably got two, maybe three of those in your lifetime.
If not more, because of the volatility that has increased over the period of time.
Right. We could see that all condensing down to a shorter cycle period, and where it's not 10, 15 years, it's 6.
Right, which is, the volatility of everything. But like with the diversity question, I think that what you're really going for is in each different season or transition in life, not even a season, but like people moving in from California, you are transitioning your life, you are restructuring your household, your finances, your things. Meet with an advisor, meet with our, we're Farm Bureau Financial Services. We provide the entire gamut of what's available out there as professionals, from, starting your Roths to transferring your Roths across to getting myself and Reece as your local experts, on your
entire part of your
entire
network too is, we have that side of things where you're going to play in the traditional 401k IRA Roth IRA market, or even with some of your connections, real estate, passive income coming off of investments.
And some people, like a lot of business owners that I know, they operate their business and then they buy and hold real estate, which is great. But then all of their things are tied up in real estate, which is also kind of the detriment, because what if 2008 hit the year before?
Well, and that kind of was why I was asking the question, because it seems to me even in all periods of the cycle, there are still some places you can have investments that are going to be okay, while maybe some of your other investments are going to be...
So I'd say strategic and defensive markets, where food is a commodity that has to stay, so being invested in those defensive markets versus or offensive markets. I don't play sports. I'm pretty bad at that. But, and then in your better cycles, being in your technology driven or your higher risk, higher volatility, maybe a little bit of foreign markets, within that, if you're in that season of growth, if you're in that season of maintaining or, kind of pulling back,
principle.
Bonds, income bonds, those types of products are out there for those types of different goals. And what we do at Farm Bureau Financial is we use a product called Riskalyze, and we go through and we sit down with people on an individual basis and make sure that their risk tolerance matches up with what they're, what we're advising them to put into the market.
And where they're at in their life, their overall picture. We talk about like your world and what's going on, how much longer do you have to accumulate your retirement versus how much more you actually need and how much it's going to take. Like we said, where do you get a 10% rate of return? Where does that money have to be in order to get you to that goal? If your number is X, and we have to achieve that, how do we bridge that gap?
I once heard a person say that if they ran into $1 million, they put it someplace and then just live off the interest. And I thought, and this the limited scope I have, I said, well, if you're going to try to live off interest that's like 0.2%, that's not going to work out for you. But if they can really earn 10%,
if they could earn 10%, that's probably a little bit more aggressive. It is doable. But traditionally right now, if you took somebody's retirement portfolio and you were looking at how much income they were going to pull off of it, being conservative would be 3.5% to 4%. Being a little bit more aggressive would be 5 to 6%. So you have to look at what area or part of your portfolio, whether that's in the market and it's growing really well and you're receiving an 8, 9, 10%, you pull your money out of the market. But if that's not working as well, we have a downturn in the market, you look at other accounts like your fixed accounts, or if you have money sitting in real estate that's driving income there, you've got passive income there. You kind of switch where that money's coming out during retirement to make sure that you're not pulling from, account that's depleting or going down or seeing, negative trajections going forward. So just kind of balancing where you have that money in different buckets, right? Different areas to make sure that you're pulling from the right one at the right time. And that's really where an advisor comes in to help you navigate that with Social Security and some of the other avenues that you're going to have revenue coming in from, to make sure that in that time frame when you are quote unquote retired, right? Might still have a job, might have some income coming in. Where are you getting that gap? Where are you getting that filler? And is it coming from the right bucket, so to speak? I think.
Right. Well, and I think that's why you sit down with an advisor. You know, Reece is a prime example of that, of sitting down and going through what really needs to happen, you know, and looking at it full picture.
Big picture, please.
Well, big picture on the Big Picture Morning Show. Wired Wednesday, this has been McKenna Hansen. Thank you so much for joining us. Really quickly, we are going to do our door hanger drawing. We are drawing ticket 157. I believe that is in the Cedar City area. If you have the door hanger labeled 157, please give me a call. My number is 435-592-2021. You have won a $50 gift card. You have 2 weeks to redeem that. Just let us know.
How come I don't have a door hanger?
Well, I haven't made it to your neighborhood yet. The door hanger needs the door hanger. Anyways, it has been lovely chatting with everybody today. This has been McKenna Hansen with Farm Bureau Financial Services, with Reece Heideman of Farm Bureau Financial Services.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. It's been Wired Wednesday.
It's been a good, informative half hour. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
for having us.
All right.